Hi, everyone, and thanks so much for joining us today. We're here to talk about group benefits, why they matter, and how they can support both your business and your team. Whether you're just starting out or looking to enhance your current plan, we hope today's conversation gives you some helpful insights. I'm going to do some introductions and start off with myself. I'm Deb Muse. I'm a group broker and part of the team at National Wealth Management. I focus on helping individuals and especially businesses build solutions that support both organizational goals and employee well-being. First, I'd like to introduce Brady Kitchen from Medavie Blue Cross. Brady is an experienced account executive with over 8 years in the insurance industry, including 7 with Medavie Blue Cross. He's based out of uh, his head office in Moncton, and Brady brings expertise in both personal and group insurance. So he's offering a well-rounded perspective and a strong commitment to client-focused solutions. And next, we have Justin Tweed from Commonwealth. Justin is Commonwealth's account executive for Atlantic Canada. He works closely with employers and employees to help them understand the value of group retirement plans, and he ensures they get the full long-term benefits that these plans can offer. And finally, I'd like to introduce Todd Ellis. Todd is the founder of National Wealth Management and the company's principal advisor. With over 33 years of experience in financial services, Todd combines deep expertise with a thoughtful, relationship-based approach to planning, especially for clients who are building and growing their own businesses. Beyond his professional work, Todd is also an avid sailor and a passionate supporter of youth in the marine community through his charitable work with the Nova Scotia Sea School. So now let's uncover what group benefits can do for your organization.
Thank you, Deb. Appreciate that. Well, let's just jump right into it. And Brady, welcome, and let's have a good conversation about group benefits, which deal with health and dental as part of the main focus. So, first off, can you tell us a little bit about small business benefits and what makes it different from the traditional group benefits plan?
Yeah, so the great thing about our small business benefits plan here at Blue Cross is it's a pooled plan as opposed to a traditional experience rated benefit. So anybody who's been on a group plan before, they're as an employee, or if an employer has managed benefits for their employees, they'd be used to having renewal increases that would be directly based off of the usage of the plan.
Right.
This benefits plan is pooled. So what that means is it's based off of the experience of our entire block of small businesses, meaning that each year your direct employee claims don't affect your renewal increase each year.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And I'll be jumping around a little bit today, but one of the things that's always top of mind for employers and small business owners is that affordability question. And that being a big concern, how does Medavie help make benefits accessible without, compromising on value? How customizable are group benefit plans for small business owners?
Yeah. So that's a great question, Todd. If you bring up the first or the second slide that I have there. So the second slide, the next one there, you'll see that the benefits plan is designed to sort of be plug and play and take the guesswork out of designing a plan for employers. So as you can see there, there's 3 levels of coverage for the base benefits of life insurance and the AD&D. If you flip to the next slide there, you'll see that there's also corresponding 3 levels for the vision care, all the extended healthcare benefits, and the prescription drugs. The same goes for dental. If you flip to the next slide there, you'll see there's 3 different levels of coverage there, and all levels of benefits include some sort of travel insurance. So the modular approach of this makes benefits not only more accessible for a small business owner, but also allows them to choose a plan that fits within their budget by increasing the benefits as you go up. Our most common level of benefit out of those is the essential level, which is the mid-range. But yeah, it's affordable. It's a like I said earlier, it's a pooled benefits plan, so you're not going to have any huge surprises when it comes to renewals each year. And you can, of course, modify that down the road.
Well, then let's talk about the modification, Brady. So if what I'm hearing is that businesses could start small and then scale up over time as their needs change?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So this benefits plan is available for groups of 2 to 10 employees starting out, but it does allow organic growth up to 25 employees. Also, the benefits can be modified in level of coverage on renewal once every 24 months. So you're not locked into the benefits plan that you choose when you're starting out. If your needs change, you can certainly make that change down the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, part of the every person who runs and operates a business, we're always dealing with time, and time is money. And what is the process really of setting up a benefits plan? What does that look like for small businesses?
Yeah. So that's definitely, we kept that in mind when we were designing the small benefits plan, to make it intentionally straightforward. You basically, once you've chose the level of benefits you want and you've said, okay, we're going to move ahead with this benefits plan, you complete a master application, which is a PDF form or it's printable, and then an individual application for each of your employees. After that, anything to do with managing the plan, removing employees or adding new additions, can all be done through our self-serve group administrator portal. Many times for these, your advisor would also have access to that portal to assist you with that going forward.
Okay, so it sounds like it's very easy from you made this package extremely simple and easy to own, operate, and manage. Well, let's talk a little bit and transition a little bit about the support that Medavie might offer. They're obviously well known in the Atlantic provinces. What type of support and service do they offer business owners who, may be new to group benefits, and how easy is it really to manage the plan once it's in place?
Yeah, so as I was mentioning a moment ago, our group administrator portal is an easy way to manage your benefits. You can view invoices in there, update salary information, add new employees, remove employees on there. You're never left alone as a Blue Cross group. All of our members are treated the same, whether it's a large, thousands of employees on a group down to a small business plan, and that's our real, I guess, value that we add to a small business plan, is that it gives accessible coverage to a small business, and the support doesn't only come from our digital tools. Your advisor has access to those tools, as well as a support team here at Blue Cross through our account associates and folks like myself as an account executive.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think about, I guess, benefits also from a tangible and intangible side of the equation. And is there a way for employers to measure the impact of their benefit plan?
Yeah. So one of the, I guess, the most measurable way to see the impact of group benefits to your employees is that data has shown that employees will leave an employer simply for having access to benefits. So by not offering benefits to your employees, you can struggle with retention more than overall compensation would mean to them. So having something, knowing that they're taken care of, and giving your employees access to the tools and things to take care of their health and their family's health is one of the most measurable things that you can see.
Well, when it comes to partnerships too, in the Canadian marketplace, there are many group providers. National Wealth Management, of course, has a extremely strong relationship with Medavie Blue Cross. But Brady, why don't you tell some of the people listening here today why Medavie Blue Cross?
Get asked that question all the time. Here in Atlantic provinces, Medavie Blue Cross is, I mean, I always say we're the Kleenex of insurance, meaning that, people say, oh, I'm going to use my Blue Cross coverage, even if it's with another carrier. But we don't take that for granted, knowing that people rely on us to continually innovate, and we take that serious, and our mission as an organization is to be focused on enhancing the well-being of Canadians. That's from top to bottom. That's our mission, and our core values are caring, innovative, accountable, responsive, community-minded, and that's reflected in everything that we do, from the benefits offerings to the service that people get once they are a Blue Cross member.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
can see that in some of the work that we do with our clients. And talking, I guess, about innovations, are there any recent innovations or digital tools that Medavie has introduced to maybe help improve the experience for small businesses and their employees?
Yeah, definitely. So innovation, like I mentioned a second ago, is one of our core values. It's shown in our digital tools, like the mobile app that you see here, our member services site, which is an extension of the mobile app. It's our desktop version of that. The group administrator portal, like I mentioned, as well as having access to Canada's largest provider network. So we have our own provider network. Unlike other carriers, they use third-party provider networks. We have our own provider network that is the largest in Canada. Also, we're proud to be responsive and leading the way in offering new benefits like weight management, menopause and perimenopause coaching. These are all standard features for any of our new plans. Also, keeping with our mission of everything I've mentioned, we offer connected care. So that's a digital storefront that gives any Blue Cross member access to our partner providers at no or reduced cost for using those services. There's 6 main pillars that are shown there on that slide. Everything from mental wellness, virtual clinics, health coaching and chronic disease management. That's where the menopause and perimenopause coaching fall under. Health assessments, everyday well-being, lifestyle and financial services. Those are all things that are offered through Connected Care, just for being a Blue Cross member. If you go to the next slide there, you'll see that one of, like, an example of a partner through Connected Care, which is added within the last couple of years, is Beyond ADHD. So what Beyond ADHD allows Blue Cross members to have is access to ADHD assessments, as well as follow-up sessions related to ADHD. So anyone who has had experience with an ADHD assessment or needing to have one done for a child or themselves knows that they're typically $2,000 to $3,000 to have them done, because they're done through a psychologist. And if you're not willing to pay that, you can certainly have access to it through a provincial program, but the wait list for those are years and years. So having a partnership with Beyond ADHD allows us to have our members get access to those assessments at a reduced cost of $199 for that assessment. The turnaround time for that is typically within a week or two, if not less. And then any follow-up sessions related to your ADHD treatment are $79. And those fees, the $199 and the $79 fee, are eligible to be claimed under the benefits plan as the under the mental health practitioner coverage. If you go to the next,
yeah,
go ahead.
sorry, Brady. I was just making a note there that some pretty amazing enhancements to some of the benefit packages that have, gone before.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So this is that's an add-on that is just enhancing the already great benefits that an employer would be offering through their small business plan. And another one, if you go to the next page, there is our partnership with KITS. So that's something that we just added this year in the spring of the year. As you can see there, KITS, which is a direct-to-consumer optical provider, similar to Zenni or Clearly, any of those online opticals. KITS, just for being a Blue Cross member, if you go through the Connected Care platform, you get 30% off contacts, any glasses, so frames and lenses, as well as 50% off any lens upgrades. So that could be things like the anti-reflective coating or the blue light blocker, any of those things. Anybody who wears glasses knows those upgrades that can be done. Those are all 50% off. Anything that you use through KITS, they are a Blue Cross provider, so those fees for your glasses that you purchase or whatever can be claimed under the vision benefit on your group plan. Also, we just had an added benefit to that, where anyone who does their first purchase through KITS as a Blue Cross member gets a free pair of polarized sunglasses with their first purchase. So some extra perks in there, just two examples of benefits that are through Connected Care.
Excellent. Thank you, Brady. And before we switch it over to Deb, talk a little bit more about the broker experience. Maybe you could just sum up for us a little bit about how, Blue Cross empowers small businesses, with some of these simple and scalable benefits.
Yeah. So as I said, Blue Cross's small business plan is designed with simplicity, affordability, and impact in mind by offering a pooled plug-and-play solution. We offer the complexity of traditional benefits. We remove the complexity of traditional benefits while still delivering meaningful coverage, built-in scalability through and digital tools, so the ability to grow your business and change the benefits as things go, helps a small business support their employees' health and well-being without the administrative burden that comes along with traditional benefits. And it's also backed by our mission and values. We are proud to be a trusted partner in Atlantic Canada and all across Canada.
Thank you, Brady. And I want to thank you for being here today and also supporting our clients in our local markets. Menifee Blue Cross is a valued partner, and we appreciate the work that you do for our clients.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Todd.
Quite welcome. We're going to switch now over to Deb Muse. Deb, maybe some of the questions that we could ask you is a little bit about the broker experience, and maybe you could tell our audience today a little bit about why should small businesses consider offering group benefits, and even have even if they have a small team.
Well, yeah. So even with a small team, offering group benefits can have a huge impact. It shows your employees that you care about their health, about their well-being. That builds trust and loyalty, back from the employees back to the company they're with. Beyond that, though, it's a powerful tool for even attracting and retaining quality employees. Today's, a very competitive job market. candidates are looking for more than just salary. They want stability, support, and a workplace that invests in them as well as they're investing in the workplace. So a well-designed benefits plan helps, your company stand out and keeps your best people from looking for another job, looking outside of where they're at.
Yeah, absolutely. And and I think about it, and we're engaged in client meetings to discuss employee group benefits. We also kind of get a lot of common misconceptions. Maybe you could just share with the audience what are some of the most common misconceptions that, small business owners have about group benefits.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest one is that group benefits is only for large companies. Many small business owners believe they need a big team or even like a big budget to offer a plan, which simply isn't the case anymore. Traditionally, it's always been harder for businesses with fewer than 5 employees, or that 2 to 10 range, as Brady had mentioned,
Right.
for them to access affordable, sustainable coverage. But plans are often too expensive, or they lack a flexibility for small numbers. But the gap is really now being filled by providers, those that really understand the needs of the small teams. And that's exactly why we had, Brady here to talk about Medivie Blue Cross. Their product specifically designed for businesses with under 10 lives. And it's a great example of how the industry is evolving to support small businesses in a kind of more meaningful way, I guess.
Excellent. And let's maybe ask you, how do, group benefits impact the employee retention and recruitment? What is it that you see in the marketplace?
Well, benefits are one of the top factors that employees or candidates are looking for when they're choosing a job. For existing employees, having access to health and wellness coverage makes them feel valued and supported. And that leads to a higher overall morale, lower turnover, and even a stronger workplace culture. I think in short, just benefits they're not just a perk, they're a real strategic tool for building like a stable, committed team.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, and I'll kind of end on this question. How can small businesses afford group benefits on a tight budget? What are some of the things that they can do or look for?
Well, I mean, we always know that affordability is a real concern for small businesses, but there are smart, flexible ways to make group benefits work. Cost sharing between employers and employees is the norm in most of the plans today. It's expected. It helps keep things sustainable for everybody. We also look at creative plan designs, like starting with a basic core plan, or using a health spending account to give employees some flexibility while keeping costs predictable for the company. And again, that's kind of where Medivie Blue Cross really is helping shift that landscape. Um, it's not about forcing a fit with a traditional plan. It's about having access to something that was built like the small uh, benefits plan that Medivie offers. Um, so it's about having access to something that's built to meet the realities of running a small, lean, even maybe a seasonal operation. So the goal isn't to offer more than you need, it's to offer the right type of needs with the right support that's affordable and sustainable.
Yeah, and Devin, I guess that's where the value of a good group benefits broker comes into play, is to help some of our clients walk through some of those, um, and navigate, I guess, some of the territory that's involved with all of these questions.
Yeah, there's so many providers. There's so many that it's a landmine. Like, everybody, all the providers have products that are there, and but to find, that product that fits the exact needs, that's where group broker comes in, because we've kind of walked this path before, and we know kind of where to direct for specific needs. And even, regarding that, like outside of group benefits, there are other providers that we should look at for other kind of flexible needs too, like our savings and investments. Um, we've got Justin Tweed here with Commonwealth, and their company is fitting a huge gap um, on the small business side, because in order to have a savings and investment plan, it was always a huge price tag for the business owner or even for the employees to be able to set in. So I think we
Well,
should ask Justin some questions.
yeah, that's right. And you just led into a perfect segue for introducing Justin. And Justin, welcome today. Thank you for being a part of our presentation on group benefits and retirement benefits. So let's just get right into it. Maybe you could help our audience today understand, what are some of the benefits of introducing a group retirement plan to their members?
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks a lot for having me here. Yeah, so really appreciate you guys having me here. Super excited to talk about the benefits of bringing on a group retirement plan. I think that it kind of helps to break it into what's beneficial for the employee and what's the benefit towards the employer to bring on something like this. So I'll start on the employee side here. So the nature of things is that many Canadians will have not started saving for retirement at all. It's very common for people to really not understand where to begin. And of course, many don't have access to an advisor to guide them, just as Deb talked about. This is a really important aspect of things, having somebody to talk to about these savings. Maybe if we can move over to the next slide here, I'll talk about how we help to close that gap a little bit here. So, of course, there are some that have started savings, but there are a lot of major benefits in investing through a group plan like we offer at Commonwealth versus somebody who is actually saving on their own towards an individual retirement plan. Some of those big ones, as you can kind of see on the screen here, we're able to simplify saving by setting up an automatic payroll deduction. This ensures that those contributions that people are making are consistent and they're taking advantage of the benefits of compounding savings. So it's just coming off their paycheck. They don't have to think about it. And it's just being invested, and the beauty of compounding savings can come into play. When we save into an RSP, sorry, just to step back here. When we save into an RRSP through payroll deductions, we are able to recognize the RRSP contributions and the tax break that comes with that up front. So people that are investing individually, you're aware that you have to wait until that tax season comes around, you claim your RRSP contributions, and then you kind of get that money back. You're essentially giving the government an interest-free loan for the length of the year. When you contribute directly from payroll, you don't have to do that. You get that tax break right up front. That's a little bit more money in your pocket right away. Group investors also have access to professionally designed and managed investment options that are tailor-made for retirement savings. And these aren't available to individual investors. They will typically have access to lower fees as well that would be available to those individual investors. And yeah, to talk about a little bit about where we fit in, we have a modern platform. Every person that enrolls into Commonwealth, they're going to create a retirement plan. Based on their personal info, we're going to help them to understand how much they will require per month in retirement to live a similar standard of living to what they're living today. And then we're going to help them to understand what sort of progress they've already made, how their current savings that they might have in an RSP or a TFSA, let's say, how the government benefits that will be available for them just as being a Canadian, and then how the plan that you are offering to them is going to help them to close that gap and get closer to their retirement goals. So alongside having an avenue for saving, they're also going to be aware and in control of their future financial security. And finally, oftentimes with group RRSPs, the employer is also providing a match to my contribution, which allows me to boost my retirement savings.
A great introduction to group retirement benefits, Justin. We pivot a little bit though and touch on maybe how this benefits the employer?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's the employee side, which we just touched on, but there's definitely a ton of benefits for the employer as well. Providing that match, it has a real benefit to employee satisfaction, retention, and attraction, which is, of course, the reason that you bring on benefits in general. We've compiled a number of surveys that share clear statistics that having this workplace retirement plan, it makes a big difference for workers. If you can move on to the next slide, I've got some numbers here. So these are collected from a variety of surveys here, but for example, 80% of respondents mentioned having a retirement plan with an employer match is very important in deciding where to work. 70% say they would forego a higher salary in exchange for a workplace retirement plan. 78% of employers say a retirement plan helps with retention. There's a ton of really tangible benefits that you are being provided as the employer side that proves that this really is a great benefit that people are really looking for in this day and age. I think these numbers kind of share between these couple of slides here, which I think we'll be able to share with you afterwards, but there's some really great statistics on where the value is. Additionally, can also improve productivity. If you're sitting there worrying about your financial situation, especially when you're unaware of where you actually stand, maybe I've made some savings, but I have no idea what that means to me. Having something like a retirement plan in play, which again, everyone will have when they enroll with Commonwealth, it allows people to really focus their best effort on work and take a little bit of that stress off their mind when they have a little bit less worry about financial security. There's also tax benefits. If you're contributing directly to a group RRSP in comparison to, let's say, providing a bonus to a team member, this means that you're, first off, providing the entirety of those funds to that team member. They're not losing any of that money to tax. But then from your side as well, you are also not responsible for paying certain payroll-related taxes yourself, like EI, CPP contributions. Those aren't required when you're contributing to an RRSP. So those contributions can also be deducted as a business expense. And basically, you're providing the entirety of the benefit to the employee without costing yourself a little bit more as well. And finally, as we've kind of touched on, part of our focus at Commonwealth was making plans more affordable, and they are a lot more affordable than a lot of people really think. For example, there's actually no fee that employers must pay to us at Commonwealth. There is an employee fee, as I mentioned, that is much lower than what they would have access to as an individual investor for similar investments on the open market. And the only cost to you as the employer is whatever contribution match you're looking to contribute to your team members.
Well, that makes it extremely easy and accessible then for the employer. But maybe we can elaborate a little bit more on what the employer would be expected to, pay or to put out of pocket for a retirement plan in place.
Yeah, definitely. So it's a really simple calculation. If we could just move up a couple of slides there, I'll really just walk you through it. Again, the beauty of a retirement plan through Commonwealth is that the entirety of that employer cost is just what you're willing to contribute to your employees' retirement savings. So simple example here, if the total employee payroll was, say, $300,000 a year, and you're willing to match 3% of the contributions that your employees make towards the retirement, the absolute maximum that you would pay would be 300,000 times 3%, or essentially $9,000 a year. When we compare that to the cost of, let's say losing and replacing one talented team member who opts to leave your organization to move to one that might provide better benefits, it makes it really clear that you can provide this benefit and again, really save yourself money in the long term.
Yeah, I would agree. But however, that's a budget that might be a little bit high for some employers. Let's say that a team wanted to budget a little bit less than the $9,000 that you touched on here. Are there ways to do that?
Yeah, definitely. There is total flexibility. If we can move up a couple of slides here. Oh, sorry about that. I guess there might be one missing here. Yeah, so there's total flexibility in the way that you can design your plan. There's a lot of things you can do. You can set caps on how much you're willing to contribute per year. So let's say you had 10 employees. You could offer to match their their contributions to the plan, in that last example, let's say 3% of their salary, like we just mentioned there. But you can also just set a maximum on the dollar amount that you will match per year. So let's say I'm going to match up to a maximum of $1,000 a year. That way, even if you had 100% enrollment from your employees, you would still be maxed out at that $1,000 times whatever number of employees you have. So if you think that 3% match is something that you'd like to offer, you don't think that everyone is going to capitalize on it. But if they do, then that's potentially over the budget that you would aim for. Then you can just put that cap, a dollar amount per year, and you're still providing an excellent benefit. And if people cap out, they're still getting a generous match on the other side. You can also just kind of set different eligibility rules. You can make it only available to, I know that a lot of people here probably have seasonal staff. Maybe it's not going to be provided to them, but maybe at the management level, you're providing a little bit more. You have total flexibility as far as how you can actually design that. Maybe people have to wait 3 months before they join the plan. Maybe part-time staff have to be working over 25 hours a week. There's total flexibility as far as how you can set it up. And that's a great thing that you can work alongside the team at National Wealth Management to chat about how it can work for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, and I think, aside from the costs, that some people actually are probably interested also in just how much, extra work it adds in the run of their day, from an administrative perspective. Maybe you could elaborate a little bit on that.
Totally. Yeah, that's something that's absolutely really important to people. And, a huge factor alongside from the cost in deciding to actually bring this on. To go back to us here at Commonwealth, we are specifically focused on small and medium businesses. So we built our platform for that team admin who's wearing multiple hats, and they're not just doing payroll as their full-time job. So we actually run surveys with every team that we bring on, and our score from the admin side, we're sitting at 4.8 out of 5. So we hear it's roughly 3 to 5 minutes of work for the admin every time they run payroll. Your only responsibility as the admin every pay period would just be to upload a contribution report, essentially telling us what we have to debit from the corporate accounts and put into the Commonwealth accounts. That's your one responsibility. That just becomes part of the payroll experience. If you do need additional help, we're there to help out as well. One-on-ones are always available to your team. On occasion, you would be adding and removing team members. Also, if I change the amount that I'd like to contribute, sometimes there's a little bit of additional work there, but that's pretty minimal, and that happens quite infrequently. So in general, you'll have that one responsibility and sometimes a couple of other, but again, we're there to help out along the way. A lot of people are also a lot more familiar with like pension plans when it comes to kind of this space of group savings, which we're not. Pension plans come with a lot of additional admin. They come with regulatory requirements. When we're talking about a group RSP, and especially one that we're offering here through Commonwealth, it requires very little from a regulatory standpoint. And anything that is required is actually managed by our team and then your partners there at National Wealth Management.
Yeah. And, listen, Deb and I would definitely agree that from our perspective, that Commonwealth and the way that you guys have built this platform has made it so easy, so user-friendly from an employer and an employee's perspective. And this is why, we think that it would be such a great fit for these marina groups that are typically small, busy crews. But maybe if you could touch just a little bit more on how your team has designed the platform and your offerings to cater, to these sort of groups.
Yeah, definitely. I think I highlighted a few of these key things already, but really just to emphasize that we made a point that we want this to be an affordable, easy to adopt platform to add a great benefit without a huge lift for the employer or the employee. Again, those fees are going to be significantly lower than what you would see from the traditional big players in this market. And the nature of things is they don't really provide quality service to a small team, unfortunately. That's why we came into this space. We hear horror stories from teams that can't get in touch with their retirement plan providers for weeks at a time, or they get caught up with stacks of paperwork because these providers haven't really nailed down any sort of functional digital environment. On the opposite end, we have created a modern digital platform. Members can do retirement planning. They can transfer funds into their accounts. They can change their investments. They can add beneficiaries and more without actually having to ever fill out any physical documentation or involve you as the employer. And if these employees, or again, yourself as the employer, need additional help, we have a resource library of videos. We have documents on all things retirement and unlimited one-on-ones that you can book with myself or another member of my team. If there's any additional help that's needed, that's always included in your plan. So really between what our team and again, the team at National Wealth Management are offering, we think we can provide an awesome benefit without really adding any additional stress from your side.
Well, thank you, Justin. Just a really great explanation of some of the plans and the benefits that are available through Common Wealth. And I see in the background here, we've had some questions that have been coming up from our audience. I want to again thank you and Deb and Brady for being here to present to our audience. But turning to some of the questions. I see one has come in here that has asked, I guess this one here would be for you, Brady. Tell me, does Blue Cross, Medavie Blue Cross have local offices? What if I wanted to visit a physical location?
Yeah. So that's a great question. So pre-pandemic, we had quite a few in-person locations that were able to be walked in. They were kind of the bank style, what they call the quick pay. That has been converted. That model's been converted to what they call a benefits plus location. So we have one in St. John's, Newfoundland. We have one here at our head office in Moncton. We have another in Halifax. And the purpose of those, they're more of a cafe style with employees there to help you process claims through our digital tools. And it's more of an education center rather than like a claims payment center. But it gives you access to go in and visit someone and ask questions about how to access your plan online and use some of the digital tools. But we've made things so simple now with our digital offering that the need for the walk-in claims payment offices is not as necessary as it used to be.
Yeah, thank you, Brady.
Yeah.
And I would agree with that from what we see on our end as well. Justin, can you talk a little bit about and expand perhaps on some of the investments that are available through Commonwealth?
Yeah, definitely. So I've kind of, hinted at it throughout. But again, like a big thing that we pride ourselves on, we only do group retirement, and we've built our investment options specifically focused on kind of the gold standard for retirement savings. So I'll really just quickly touch on like one of the main offerings and where we usually push the vast majority of people to go towards. And I know Todd and Deb, you guys are big advocates as well for target date funds. So target date funds essentially just align with your retirement date. We provide target date funds that are provided by BlackRock, so largest asset manager in the world. And essentially how these target date funds work is at a younger age, I'm willing to accept the risk of the market fluctuations because that often leads to higher growth. But then as I get closer to retirement, I want to ensure that that growth that I've recognized over these years is protected because I'm going to want to access those funds sooner. So these target date funds essentially align with my retirement date, and my risk profile is changing. So and my investment strategy is changing over time. They've kind of been given the gold standard for retirement savings. And again, these are being provided by the largest asset manager in the world. So we try to encourage everybody to go towards those. We do provide a number of other options provided by RBC as well. If people do like to manage their own funds, we do see a small percentage of people going towards that. But basically, we ensure that we're always monitoring what's going on in the market, what our investment options are, and that we're providing the best options in each of those areas.
Yeah, absolutely. And, as I think about that, another question came in that was a little bit more complimentary to that. Let's talk about minimum number of employees to open maybe an RSP with Commonwealth. Is there a minimum number that our employers would have to meet?
That's a great question, and I really appreciate whoever asked that. Deb mentioned this before. The nature of things is that these benefits used to be for large companies, and that's a problem, right? Like we are, especially here on the East Coast, we pride ourselves on our small businesses. We support our small businesses, I think, like nobody else. And the concept that somebody who works for a small business can't get the same benefits as somebody who works for a larger business is really just unfair. So we don't have any minimums. If you have a 2-person team, you don't actually think you can offer anything as far as a match, but you want to set up a voluntary plan where they have a great avenue to, again, invest in some of these great investment options that we have available, we're happy to set that up for you. Again, if you're happy to do a match as well, that's great. It's an additional, it'll provide additional attraction and retention benefits at that point. But our concept is we want to provide this benefit to Canadians who are working for any size employer. And we want employers to be able to attract the top talent and not get those taken away from those larger employers that can provide better benefits. So there are no minimums at all. Anybody can join.
Wow, that makes it pretty easy. Thanks, Justin. One of the other questions that came in kind of is back in your court there, Brady. Sometimes clients will have a challenging situation as it relates to a claim. We all know we've visited some websites in the past that make it very difficult to kind of access support. Besides the support of the group broker, how could clients access additional support should they need to on a claim?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So basically, if our digital tools are, you're at a roadblock with those, your advisor's not able to help, and then our sales support team here isn't able to get you there, or it's not convenient for you to go through those avenues. We have a contact center that is 100% Canada-based. The majority of them are here in the Atlantic provinces. We do have a few in Ontario and in the Western provinces as well. But it's a first-in-class, contact center. Wait times are much less than if you were calling a telecommunications provider. We are customer focused, so we have a very big team to walk you through that. But we also have online services as well, where you could submit an inquiry directly through our member portal or the mobile app. The other thing that has really decreased the need for support through our contact center and our digital tools is our claims tracker, which is something that is been added to our mobile app that allows you to track a claim as it goes through. Because if there's any delay, people, you submit a claim and you say, "Oh, where's my money?" And it was a Thursday afternoon and it's Sunday afternoon. "Oh, where's my money?" Well, it's only really been, a day or two in business days. So it allows you to track the claim as it goes through, and it shows you if it's paid, as well as if there's any errors or missing information on a claim that was submitted. It gives you all the access there.
Yeah, we've come a fair way from when we used to submit the paper claims from a few years ago.
Faxes and mail. Oh, I mean, people still send them in, Todd, for sure. But
yeah,
it's a lot less. And like I mentioned earlier when we were talking, our provider network, the majority of them are direct bill. So the need for submitting a manual claim is pretty minimal. But of course, there's always that one-off dentist or massage therapist that doesn't direct bill or their system's not working. And it's as easy as taking a picture in our mobile app and getting direct deposit in your bank account.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wrap things up today by asking the three of you one final question. And that's about supporting the employers in the marketplace by using a group broker as a part of their team. Can maybe each of you just kind of give a highlight from what you see about the value of using a group broker in the marketplace today? Justin, maybe we'll start with you.
Yeah, certainly. I think that ultimately we are experts in our product and brokers are experts on the market. That's the biggest thing. The broker is, first off, the relationship that you have. They know all of the other products that are out there. They can support your team in so many different ways. And also they keep us honest. We are confident that we're providing a top quality product. We're going to provide it at a top quality fee. But ultimately, I'm not seeing what's happening with other providers out there. but Deb and Todd are. They're always monitoring the environment. They're ensuring that we are providing the best product for your team and that they're doing everything that they can do to ensure that it's performing at the top performance level that we would like it to have. So they are your first and foremost first call that you make. We're here to assist with anything Commonwealth related, but they are your client support team, and they're there to support any sort of product you have out there and the product that we are providing to you as well.
Thank you, Justin. Brady, I'll go to you next.
I think Justin said that perfectly. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's the value of having a broker for anything, whether it's any type of insurance, whether it's group benefits, individual coverage, even home and auto, any of that. The advantage of going through a broker rather than speaking directly with a carrier is the advantage of having that unbiased sort of bird's eye view of the industry that allows you to have honest advice. I'd like to think that every bit of advice that someone would give directly from a carrier would be unbiased, but there's always that bit of bias in every person's way of discussing things. And to be honest, I mean, we're not the only provider that offers benefits for a small business. We definitely are the best, in my opinion, and that's the reason why you guys have had, Justin and I here today is because we are, the ones that are the industry leaders in what's needed for small businesses. But you can be sure that dealing with a broker, they're going to have access to every carrier and any new change that happens. So when those things happen, we can get feedback directly from the broker. We have a large team of brokers that we deal with. And that's what helps us innovate, as well as gives you the confidence knowing that you're offering the best option for your employees.
Thank you, Brady. And Deb, I'll turn to you to kind of wrap it up, maybe one or two key points of where the broker might add value as a part of the process.
Thanks, Todd. That's a great question. As a group broker, we help businesses navigate a complex and ever-changing landscape, making sure your benefit plans are competitive, cost-effective, and aligned with your goals. Right from the initial setup to annual reviews, we act as your advocate, negotiating with providers, simplifying administration, educating your employees on their benefits and investments. Especially now with rising costs and evolving employee expectations, having a broker means you're not going it alone. You've got someone in your corner who's focused solely on your success.
Yeah, absolutely. So applying a fairness test all the way around to support the employees and employers as a part of that process
Right.
from start to finish. I want to thank everyone here today for participating in this discussion on employee health and group benefits and retirement planning. Wishing each of our employers and audience who have attended here today, a very, very successful journey in their businesses, and we are here to support them should the occasion come where you need to, assist in evaluating your existing group plans, or perhaps you might be looking to add them to your for your employees.